What's up, YouTube friends? So today I'm going to show you how to make these little pan liners here. I like to store my cast iron skillets on the stove. I have 3 different kinds. I got Big Bertha here, a 12-inch and a 10-inch skillet. So normally how Mother and I would store these is we would wash them, oil them, and we would just line paper towels in between these just to keep them from not touching or whatever. And that's just ugly. So I decided to whip up these little pan liners. Now this is more a video for inspiration instead of a tutorial. You can make these any size that you want. You can also make them any shape that you want. I decided to keep mine square because I like to rest my handles on the little lip part there, just so none of the cast iron is touching. So just for some reference, the big one is 15 inches. My middle skillet is 12 inches and my little one is 10 inches, and I just use those measurements as my guide. Now just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do a smaller one here today. So you're going to need 2 pieces of cotton fabric. These measure 8 inches square. And then you're also going to need a piece of fusible fleece, and this measures 7.5 inches squared. So no matter what measurements your fabrics are, you just want to go a 1/2 inch smaller on your fusible fleece. Now I like to use the fusible fleece. It gives it just enough cushioning. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my pieces of fabric. I'm going to lay it so that the wrong side is facing up. Take my fusible fleece. I'm just going to eyeball it and center it in the center. And then I'm just going to take this over to my ironing board and iron it per the manufacturer's instructions. Now I got a big roll of this off of Amazon, and I don't think it came with any instructions, but I just like to iron it until I can smell the glue. Now you want to put a pressing cloth or something over this. I just use the other piece of fabric. Now I'm just going to gently iron it back and forth, and I just do it till I can smell the glue melting. And then flip it over and do the other side as well. So then just peel it back and check. And mine's stuck down. So now I'm just going to layer these together with the right sides touching. I'm going to leave about a 3-inch opening at the top. Then I'm just going to put a few pins around the side just so nothing moves. And now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine, and with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to sew all the way around, back stitching at the beginning and the end, leaving my opening open. Alright, so I'll be using a straight stitch. My stitch length is about a 2.5 to a 3. And I'm going to back stitch. When I get a 1/4 inch away, I'm going to stop with my needle down, raise my presser foot and spin. Now I'm just going to clip my corners to reduce some of that bulk, but don't go through your threads. And then you just want to turn this right side out through our opening. And then using a bone folder or a chopstick, I'm just going to make sure that my seams are laying flat and my corners are nice and sharp. Then I like to come over to the little opening, kind of just give it a little tug, and everything should lay nice and flat. I'm going to stick a pin and give it a nice press. And finally, I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to top stitch with an 1/8 inch seam allowance all the way around, back stitching at the beginning and the end. So this time I'm going to put my needle to the right and back stitch. And then just so. And just that fast and easy. Our little project is complete. Now, as I mentioned, I'm using mine for my cast iron skillets. This one I'm just going to use as a mug rug. I have a water bottle that I keep in my room. But I think this would be a great idea for campers. If you don't want any of your pots and pans to rattle, any of the glassware in your cupboards, you can make these in all shapes and all sizes for however you need them. If you like this video and want to see more of my videos, go down below, hit that big red subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching, happy sewing, and I'll see you next time.